Now, who is that handsome devil? Those chiseled features, this almost Frankenstein like head, this immense echo he hears inside of a metal tube, the fact that you can always see his eyes if you look closely enough. It's kind of unnerving, but then again, so is what we're going to talk about. Welcome back to another installment of Dr. Doujinshi's HEntAI Reviews. Now you're probably wondering, but you said in the last video that you would only be doing this every Sunday. Shut up. It's my channel. I can do what I want. Now, on that note, you're probably wondering why I'm not wearing my brother's signature mask and book cover and things of other such shit that he puts on. Well, of that note, I am a man of class, and I am a man of honor. Also a man of God. Hence, crusade. Crusades are like fine wine. We do them for two reasons. Waifus and Jesus. And if you know the right artist, you can get them both in the same thing. Probably don't look up those pictures. Now, that being said, I would like to move on to my second official review. The thing that I would like to say started me on this path of the most high of holy places. The best, or at least the most common. But I'm trying to say this is probably the most normie, if you will, of smexy anime. And that would be Mankitsu happening. The series itself is currently 4 episodes that you can find on HEntAI or Haname if you want to be a complete fucking moron. And the series itself is overall diverse for what it is and well set up. It doesn't take itself too seriously with what it has, and it also makes fun of itself. Well, for what it does. It also plays into the tropes, but let's start out with the original part of the review. The first thing that I would like to say is that, like I said before, there are 4 episodes. One covering the main character, and the basic 2 characters. And the basic 2 characters that he happens to work with. The second episode introduces a new character and then adds her into a relationship with all the others. The third episode sets up a relative plot, if you will. And then the fourth episode is the conclusion to that plot, of which I'm not sure there are going to be any more episodes, but to my knowing, there has only been 4 episodes for the past 2 years now. So I'm going to assume that it's only going to stick with 4. Now, the basic plot of it is focused around this main character. You don't really need to know his name. It's kind of a move and you won't really notice it. But the character himself has been fired from many different jobs that he works at, mostly because he ends up getting into certain promiscuous situations with other female workers, whether it be voluntarily or involuntarily. Not to say that he does anything bad, but it's more he finds what he calls the lucky pervert ability. The lucky pervert ability is where he'll accidentally find himself in compromising situations with the females, in which case they will be receptive to it, and then NSFW scenarios play out. To which case he has a hard time finding a job. The opening is now finished, and then it moves into him getting a job working at a manga cafe where he believes that there is not going to be any women there. But the only reason he got the job was because his friend, who is a male, told him that he was going to get the job, He ends up going there. His friend leaves immediately, and he's never heard from again. And then a female manager takes over his position. And then comedy and fun happens. The entire episode is concluded after about 30 minutes. They're pretty consistent, being within 30 to 25 minutes apiece. So, overall, well kept. The second episode introduces him. He's been working there for a while. He's got this, I'm going to keep doing the finger gestures, relationship with with the two females that work there. A childhood friend with pink hair. There's always going to be that archetype. And the more busty, purple-haired, quiet one. Sounding a lot like Doki Doki Literature Club, but I'm going to keep moving. Then, there is a kind of reserved person that comes in all the time, who has blonde hair and kind of wears a hat and wears the glasses. Some people like to have their identities masked pretty well. Understandable. Would have never understood why she wants that, because, as you can see, my face is beautiful. This is what's underneath the mask, by the way. Cold steel and crusading power. Now on to what happens later. Later in the series, the lucky pervert, ends up finding the girl in a compromising scenario in one of the manga booths that she had rented. Ends up recognizing her, and the reason she was covering her face is that she was an idol. I don't know how fucking popular idols are in Japan, but apparently they grow on trees. They end up getting into lucky pervert related abilities, and he ends up getting laid. To which case he gets caught by the other two. They, instead of beating the shit out of him for being intimate with another female, they end up asking to join in. Why am I not included? Why am I not included? We should all be included. And then he has a heavenly moment, as I can say. Hey, I'm not going to go into details because even though I do whatever the fuck I want on this channel, and so does my brother, but I would rather not have any of these taken down. They're not monetized, so I don't give a shit what's on them, but I do want to stay away from a few things. Which is why on my last video I have stated that there are certain things that I will not review out of my own personal philosophies and beliefs, that I will not cover them. Those 4 videos, and yes, those are the only 4 that I will not review. Fuck you if you try to call me out on anything else. And I mean anything else. On that note, after getting together with all 3 of those women and getting a decent relationship going, the third episode then takes place, where another character gets shown up. The best way that I can describe her is she looks like if a Foot Locker worker were drawn in an anime, were drawn by the guy who made Kill la Kill. Seem fair? Because it's fair to me. That person then works their way into the manga cafe and then kind of sneaks into the back room in front of the lucky pervert, breaks his way in, and then ends up falling and getting into a compromising position, of which case then she leaves but never actually does anything. And just kind of holds a resentment for that person in particular. And then later things ensue with all the other characters. It's kind of like filler sex. It's the best way that I can describe it. Where it's not really adding anything, but it's there and you're not going to complain for it. You're not going to complain about it. And then the 4th episode is kind of where shit ramps up a bit. It actually has a plot where that last character was the owner of a competing cafe, a net cafe. I'm not sure what the fuck those are. I'm assuming it's like a Starbucks where they just have like free internet and they have a whole bunch. But when they go in there, there's a whole bunch of manga everywhere. So like, what's the point of why would you want? That's like going into a library and it says free Wi-Fi and all you do is just look at your phone. Like, you're in a library. What the fuck are you doing? But I digress. The series then continues. That girl, the owner of the net cafe, that she has kind of a thing for wanting them to suffer and has kind of a little kink about it. She ends up making her way back into her place, and then all four of the characters, the man and the two women that are associated with him, go in there to inspect everything to make sure everything's okay. The purple-haired manager then devises a plan where if they get the lucky pervert close enough to her, then his abilities will start affecting her, and then she'll end up doing something that will then cause her cafe to lose a reputation and then get shut down. Of which it works, because apparently blondes in Footlocker get-ups have a weird voyeurism thing. That one I don't condone, but I also don't get. Voyeurism is not my thing, but I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's there, but it's not mine. She ends up getting down with her bad self in front of a whole bunch of people because she sees the workers and owners of the original cafe suffering because they're not getting as much business. They really don't care. She ends up getting off on it in front of a few people. That makes its way back up to headquarters of wherever that's owned, because it's a chain cafe. It's like owned by a whole bunch of different people. That one gets shut down and destroyed. A little bit of an overreaction on the destroyed part. Maybe he could have just like repurposed it or fired her. Maybe put up a sign that says, "We don't jerk off in front of the customers anymore." Seems like a better idea. That then moves its way forward to them realizing, like, we kind of did mess up her job. So we're going to let her stay in the common room of this place. It has a TV, there's a bathroom, there's a whole bunch of food here. We'll let you stay here for a while until you get back on your feet. And then it kind of gets into a big final conclusion of two girls together, and then the guy gets involved with the second pairing of the two girls, and then it all crescendos into a final ORGY. I don't want to say it, not because I care about like what people are gonna like YouTube is gonna say about it, but mostly because I just don't like the word altogether. That word is like moist to a lot of people. That word is my moist. It's weird and I don't want to say it. Not because I don't. You get it. They end up getting into it, and it ends on kind of a happy note. Now my thoughts overall on it. The characters were... Honestly, they had a little bit of characterization to them. They were legitimately, like... They were more than just an item to be fucked. Even the guy who has, like, so many scenes where you don't see his eyes because the hair is just coming down. And it does that typical hentai protagonist. Even, like, that guy, he still has, like, certain things that you feel bad because he has to deal with it, but then you also, like, do I feel bad, though? You have conflicting characteristics about this guy, and he does pretty well with it. If he can even say villain, because I don't really think you can classify anybody as a villain if you're getting down with them. But even then, she's so over the top that you kind of want to see her more. So I'll give her that. And then later on, she takes over the role as like the high and mighty one. The characters all around pretty well made. 4 episodes, 30 to 25 minutes apiece. Decent character establishment, not development. There's not a lot of like growing characters, but they did establish characteristics pretty well. And good for them. I mean, seriously. Then the animation. It's pretty good. It's not you're not gonna like write home about it. It's not gonna be like in the history books of like the best ones, because I have seen better that have better animation, especially in mainstream anime, because everybody knows about, who are the guys that did Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann. Is that Studio Trigger, something like that, where they just have like immaculate creation, and David Productions and Madhouse, those three fuckers are amazing. But it's not like that. There's better animation out there, but this one is solid. It's solid animation altogether. You notice a few times where they just like speed up the movement between frames to kind of give the illusion of better animation, but you never really like, it never takes you out of it. There's nothing like super jarring where it's like you're watching a footnote go by. Alright, so the animation all around was pretty decent. The Probably the reason you're all here for it, but the actual sexy time, diverse with no real downside. I can't think of a lot, because they usually start. There's at least 3 different types of interest in each scene, and it does play out pretty well. No, there's nothing that like it's so. There is like the 4th episode has the voyeurism scene where it's kind of more over the top than everything else. Especially when you get there, I'm not gonna spoil like what's in it. It's kind of it feels weird to say spoil in context to hentai, but I'm still gonna say it. It's, pretty. It's decent overall. It's not some of the best things because it doesn't pander to a lot of like what my favorites of the genre are. But overall, it has a good selection with a variety of different characters, and there's none of the 4 categories that I hate in any of it, so that's an immediate win. Alright, so animation, story, characters, sexy time. Yeah, I think it does well in almost all of them. I am going to give my I am going to recommend this to anybody who hasn't seen it, and to those who have seen it. If you're actually going to give a shit, put your favorite episode of the 4 in the comments. It doesn't even have to be a thing, just like a number. Fuck it, I don't care. I doubt people are actually going to do it anyway, but fuck it. You do what you want. And overall, my Dr. Doujinshi's actual score for this series is going to be a solid 9 out of 10. I'm comfortable giving it a 9. It has enough quality and quantity in the not in the shortish number amount in the shortish time period. The whole thing can be binged in about 2 hours, which is more than I can say for some single episode ones that are only about 12 minutes, and then there's ones that are, for some godly reason, they're like 20 episodes. It's so weird that you can think that there's 20 episodes, but it has a short duration with self-contained characters that work well. The animation is pretty damn good for what it is, and the actual content of it is really good. It's made pretty damn well. And the 9 out of 10, And all of this can be found on HEntAI. Once again, the name Mankitsu Happening. So, that being said, this has been the second installment of Dr. Doujinshi Hentai Reviews. So, that being said, have a nice day. Wash your goddamn hands, or I'ma be up in there about to show you what a real crusade is. Alright, have a nice day. As my brother would say, the red sun setting. Bye, guys.